We got a ton to show you this week from men's and women's basketball. We finally returned to the ice with hockey, as well as looking at women's volleyball, and that's just the beginning, so don't go anywhere because the LTU Sports Report starts right now. Hey everyone, and welcome to the LTU Sports Report, where we bring you the latest game day footage, interviews, and everything sports related happening at LTU. All of it brought to you by Lawrence Technological University and sponsored by Henry Ford Sports Medicine. I'm your host, Dylan Morello, and coming up first, we have highlights from the D1 hockey team as they took on Indiana Tech in their first games of the season.
The LTU Blue Devil men's D1 hockey team took on Indiana Tech this weekend. They had the opportunity to play home and away back-to-back. Let's roll the highlights. Starting in Game 1 that took place Friday night at Indiana Tech, the Blue Devils started off strong in the first game of the 2021 season. LTU ended up taking the game to overtime. The Blue Devils do their best to keep the puck in the offensive zone. Timo I puts it in front, and the junior Brennan Priest nets it to kick the 2021 season off with a win. Transitioning over to Farmington Hills, I-Tech starts off strong, putting a point on the board early on. LTU answers back in the second. Priest gets a breakaway and takes a shot that's blocked out, but Blake Heyer answers back and scores a point for the Blue Devils. Both teams tied up at 1 apiece going into the third period. Indiana Tech scores 10 minutes in, leaving LTU 1 behind with 10 minutes remaining. On a power play, Eddie Flood breaks it out, shoots, and he scores, tying things up at 2-2. Just like Game 1, LTU and Indiana Tech would battle for the win in overtime. The Blue Devils fell short in a shootout and will walk away from their first games of the 2021 season with a record of 1-1.
Now let's check out one of our favorite segments as we get to know a student athlete.
I'm Miranda Rumpel, and I'm a third-year student at Lawrence Tech. My favorite movie is Back to the Future, and I guess any of them, honestly. And I just really love them because they're so out there and they're so different, and they have like that classic 80s feel to them, and I just love that. My favorite kind of music is kind of like old classic rock, and currently my favorite band is Greta Van Fleet, so if you haven't heard of them, go check them out. My favorite food is definitely pizza. Jets Pizza in particular. Give me just a normal Jets Pizza with some ranch, and I'll go to town. My favorite TV show is Overhaulin' with Chip Foose. It's kind of a TV show where they take older cars and they make them custom and make them super cool, so that's what I love to watch.
The women's volleyball team is looking to snap their 4-game losing streak on the road against Cornerstone. Let's roll those highlights. Volleyball in February, you better believe it. The Lawrence Tech women's volleyball team was back in action this week as they traveled up north to take on Cornerstone University's Golden Eagles. Last season, the Blue Devils swept the series against the Eagles, winning in 3 sets both times. Having not played a game since Halloween and haven't won a game since their opener at Rochester, the Blue Devils are looking to get back to their winning ways. Starting in the first set, the Eagles would jump out to a quick 4-0 lead, and despite a strong effort, the Blue Devils just couldn't overcome the deficit, and it would go on to lose the first set 16-25. Jumping ahead to the third set, Cornerstone up 2-0 in the closest set of the night. The Blue Devils would jump out to a quick 6-2 lead. The Eagles would storm back and tie it at 7. A back-and-forth battle would soon ensue, but at the end, the Blue Devils would drop the third set 21-25. Lawrence Tech would fail to win a set, losing 3-0 the final. The men's volleyball team made the decision to hold off playing this year, but we got an exclusive interview with one of the players talking about what the future holds for the team.
Hello, my name is Simon Phillip, and I am currently an architecture student, first year at LTU, and I'm on the men's volleyball team. I got involved competitively in Hawaii when I was like 11 years old, and then ever since then I've been playing in club teams and in school. In Hawaii, men's volleyball is very competitive, and the club I played for was Spike and Serve, and we tended to rank really, really high in the national competitions. I did a little research through like LTU, and I was really interested in their architecture program and how they led into the masters, because the masters and undergraduate is very closely linked, so that's what really brought interest. And then, of course, men's volleyball was icing on the cake for me. The academics is actually really challenging, but they do help you grow, especially in the architecture program. They're really helpful, and the upperclassmen do like connect with the underclassmen, so there's a lot of help to make you succeed. When I first came here, the guys were very welcoming, and I really learned a lot from them. They helped me register for my classes in second semester, and the new coach really came in, and we as soon as I got here, I could tell that she was very involved, and we started from the get-go. We had practices, we have individual practices, and we're trying to really create a competitive team. The outlook for this semester is really to gear up for next season in 2022 and prepare so that we can succeed in the best way possible. If you are looking for both a competitive athletic team as well as good academics that can help you succeed after school, LTU is a really great choice, and we have a lot of resources to help you succeed in both ways.
We're going to take a short break to hear from our sponsors, but when we get back, we've got more highlights for you, so stay tuned.
If you're a high school athlete with the dream of playing college sports, Lawrence Technological University wants you to recruit yourself. LTU offers over 24 varsity sports for men and women, along with several dozen world-class undergraduate programs. Athletic and academic scholarships are available in all sports, including its newest additions, competitive cheer and dance, esports, women's hockey, and men's and women's track and field. Visit LTUathletics.com and recruit yourself. Lawrence Tech, where Blue Devils dare.
Welcome back. As guaranteed, we got highlights from our men's and women's basketball teams. Let's check them out.
The Lawrence Tech basketball teams hit the road for a big conference matchup against the Saints of Siena Heights. Starting with the women, the ladies of LTU have found their rhythm as of late and are 2 for 2 in the month of February. Led by their two superstars, sharpshooter Taryn Klein and speedster Kendall Fisher, the Blue Devils find themselves right in the hunt of the WAC playoff race. Can they get a win tonight? In their 6th game in 10 days, the Blue Devils would come out of the gates a little slow with a low-scoring first half, only putting up 24 points. But things would take a turn for the better in the second half when LTU would heat up from the field. Led by senior Taryn Klein, who couldn't miss from downtown, hitting all 4 of her three-pointers, Klein led all scorers with 25 points. Lawrence Tech would go on to win this one 66-57 the final. On to the men's, who are without 2 starters, point guard Brandon Beavers and junior Isaiah Cumberland. On top of that pressure, on for the Blue Devils to end a 3-game skid. Can LTU pull off an upset on the road? The Blue Devils would make it rain from a 3, knocking down 8 first-half three-pointers. The Oak Park native, Santa Sasao, would shoot a perfect 4 for 4 from the field. LTU would have a 4-point lead going into the break. Coming back from the break, score is 43-39 in favor of LTU, and the Blue Devils would stay red hot from the field. Led by senior Alec Ivanovic, who would have a career night hitting 8 three-pointers and scoring a career-high 25 points, helped the Blue Devils secure the victory. Lawrence Tech would go on to win their 2nd conference game of the season, 72-66, the final.
Coming up next, Sarah Davis had a one-on-one interview with the new Director of Diversity. Let's take a look at what they're up to.
Hey everybody, I'm Sarah Davis here with Dr. Karen Reed-Hendon, the Director of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion at LTU. Thank you so much for being here with me today. For those who may not know, what does your role entail?
So I do a lot. I guess in the grand scheme of things, the biggest part of my job is making sure that our working and our learning environment is one that is inclusive, welcoming, and belonging for all. But if we want to kind of bring it down to brass tacks, we do a fair amount of programming. I mentor students. I work on policy and procedure. I do a lot. So I'm just kind of all over the place in terms of what I do for the school in terms of diversity, equity, and inclusion.
So on February 15th, you will give away the John Petty Award. What does this award entail?
So the John Petty Award was named after John D. Petty, who was LTU's first African-American trustee. So the purpose of the award is to celebrate an individual who is doing great work for the community and specifically for African-Americans. So this year is the third year that the award is being given out. And this year is actually going to look very different because we're still in a pandemic. So instead of it being in person, as it has been for the past couple of years, this year we will be doing this via Facebook Live with support from state champs with promoting the event. So we will have, obviously, our winner. We will have words from Dr. Mongill. We'll have words from our two previous Petty Award winners. And we'll also hear from a very special guest, Dr. Renee Horton, out of Alabama, who was the first Black woman to earn a PhD in physics out of the University of Alabama. So I'm really excited about being able to be a part of this really prestigious honor, to be able to show that this is what happens when you put in the good work for the community.
Once again, I'm your host, Sarah Davis, here with the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Director at LTU. Be sure to tune into the ceremony on February 15th.
I'm Nolan McGann. I'm a sophomore at LTU, and I run cross country and track. My favorite TV show is Brooklyn Nine-Nine because it's a very comedic show, but very crime solving, and I like it. I would have to say J. Cole because down to earth, and he just, it comes from the soul. My celebrity crush is Ariana Grande because she's a good actor and very musically talented. I like giraffes because, just because of the long necks, and it's a pretty exotic animal that I haven't seen yet.
If one wasn't enough, we have another package of basketball highlights for you. Let's see how they did.
More basketball for the Lawrence Tech Blue Devils, but this time they take on the Warriors of Indiana Tech. I-Tech has owned the WAC the last few years, but as of late, the Blue Devils have been handling business. Can LTU send shockwaves through the WAC and pull off this upset? Starting with the women. You can see the team chemistry unfolding right before your eyes as the Blue Devils have won 3 of their last 5 games. Can they get their conference record above 500? Close game is an understatement, as this game would start with both teams knocking down tough shots and coming up with big defensive plays. All led by point guard Kendall Fisher, who splashes a 3 from downtown to give the Blue Devils a 1-point lead heading into the break. Coming back from the half, the Warriors would catch fire and the Blue Devils just didn't have an answer, as they would be held to just 19 second-half points. Fisher would finish the night with 21 points for the Blue Devils, and Taryn Klein would hit her 1,000th career point. Lawrence Tech would go on to drop this one 47-63 as the final.
Challenges were some foul trouble. We definitely battled some foul trouble early. And then again, just kind of getting downhill and being fearless. They're a good team, and they took away a lot of what we wanted to do. We felt them everywhere we went today. So I think we just got to battle through that and learn to score in our second and third options and just get downhill and continue to be fearless.
Moving along to the men, who put on a shooting display last night versus Siena Heights, hitting 15 three-pointers and secured their second win in WAC play. Lead senior Alek Ivankovic, who channeled his inner Steph Curry and hit 8 threes of his own. Will this hot shooting continue for the Blue Devils? This game started out very physical, with both teams going toe-to-toe with each other. 3-point specialist, one of the best in the WAC, Carter France would hit one of his 3 threes and send the Blue Devils into the locker room with a 2-point lead at the break. Coming back from the half, the Warriors would go on a small run and now hold a 4-point lead on the Blue Devils. The junior Sana Sissowo, who has stepped up in the big absence of 2 starters, hits a huge 3 to bring LTU back within 1. Despite a strong effort, the Blue Devils just couldn't weather the storm and would go on to drop this one 78-65 as the final.
All right, everybody, that's our show for this week. We hope you enjoyed it. And as always, make sure to check us out on social media at LTU Athletics. We're on all the platforms, so give us a follow and be sure to listen and subscribe to our podcast, Blue Devils In Depth. I'm Dylan Morello. Have a great weekend, everybody.